Here's another wine tip.
What?
There's a reason for it.
Well, you tell the reason. You're the wine expert. I just drink this shit.
I love that sound.
I'll be fine just drinking my wine.
Any of you motherfuckers that don't drink wine, fuck you start tonight.
It's time for coffee and Cabernet. The best way to start and end your day.
Welcome to Coffee and Cabernet, the best way to start and end your day. My name is Danny Doe, and this is the show where we take you on a little wine tour, a little wine sipping tour, while engaging in thought-provoking conversations. Now, my guest for today, he's a connoisseur of many things. First, he claims he's a 10 out of 10 wine drunk connoisseur, which means he's had a lot of wine in his time.
Yeah.
He's also a marketing savant. I know him from his radio days back when he was dubbed the name Mikey Machete. And he's an essential member of the Pichy Boys podcast, Los Pichy Boys. Give it up for Mikey Reyes.
Thank you. Please send me checks.
Yes. Yo, this is crazy how we got the show started even before we got the show started.
I know. Coffee's in. Where's the coffee?
But I'm not
you're
trying to send you
always selling smoke, brother.
I'm not trying to send you to the bathroom,
I like coffee and I like Cabernet, but if you're selling coffee, there's got to be coffee. At least there's got to be, hey, here's an option for you. You can have coffee or you can have Cabernet. First of all, is this an actual Cabernet?
Yes. Actually, no,
you didn't.
That's a Bordeaux.
You didn't.
Can I get there? But this is a good question to
you're
ask.
You're just selling the wrong thing.
So for those of you out there that don't know, this show involves equal parts coffee, culture, and wine etiquette. To do both did not test well. So that's why we do one episode coffee.
So the branding is pretty screwed up right about. You know that I came here today to dismantle your whole entire show.
I figured that.
Your entire show. I already have your entire production crew.
He had notes.
I got your production crew on my side already.
He figured them out already.
Production
Off
crew
of one question, I'm like, oh
I said,
gosh.
What he's doing is wrong, and your production crew said, you're right. The guest is right, you're wrong.
Which is how we're supposed to operate.
See?
I told him, guys, whatever he says, listen to him. Like, look, if there's anybody that I'm going to allow that from, it's from
me.
You.
Yeah, okay.
So look, now that said, the people want to know. We're gonna cover it throughout the show, but real quick, speak a little bit to.
I don't like to speak about
your marketing background and your role in podcasting.
Bro, I hate to talk about me. It's a horrible because to me it's like everyone has their own place in the bus, right? And then when you go talk to the bus driver goes, "Hey, I just drive the bus." Right? And then you talk to the guy who's in charge of maintenance, and I'm just a maintenance guy in the bus. Everybody has a role. So for me to sit here and talk about myself, it's ridiculous. I never feel comfortable talking about myself. It's extremely uncomfortable because what other people might seem like, well, he's done this and he's done that and he's been involved with these people. To me, it's just part of the journey.
Okay.
20 years in radio?
Is it? Was it? I don't know. The people want to know.
It's more or less.
More or less, okay.
But not.
That still doesn't age you. It's not like I'm aging.
Let's clear that up. I tend not to count the years or account for the years that you're in there trying to,
situate.
Internships and going to school and doing part-time at the station and all these things. I don't account for any of that. I don't. I account for the point in time that I started to get a paycheck.
Cutting the checks.
That is when I because the other stuff is boot camp. Like, for example, if you go to boot camp for a year, you're in boot camp. You're not in active duty, right? So active duty is very different.
So that's what my Army Reserves friend.
Well, that's different.
I'm a veteran.
The Army's reservists are very different.
You're going to camp. Yo, thank you for your service.
Camp is camp. Boot camp is boot camp. But when you're, when you get deployed, that's a whole nother situation. Yeah. So if I was to say, talk about my radio stuff, I'm a veteran of many wars. Yeah. In radio.
How about this? Can I speak for you? As I'm starting to
you can do that, and I'll call bullshit if it's
my first year. So they already started counting cutting the checks. I was still learning a lot because this is year one, right? And they brought up your name. You weren't on the roster yet, but they were talking about how to properly screen calls. Because there was one incident, and you could do things right 100 times
and do that one thing,
and then we gotta
talk. Yeah. I've gotten suspended many times.
And
I've gotten suspended about 3 times. I'm very, very, very.
We're gonna talk about that too.
I'm very proud of those times.
We learned from those times.
Absolutely.
So in this particular time for me, P.O. Farrell, who was the PD of Podcast
yes,
good friend. He brought up your name because you're a legend when it comes to screening calls, and it's how you got your name, Mikey Machete.
Right. It's a horrible thing to do when you start as a producer for any show. It's like a butcher. They give you a slab of meat, and then you have to clean up that meat. You have to cut the fat. And make it lean, and then make sure that works that way. And that's the job of a phone screener at a radio station is cut through the bullshit and just listen. What are you going to talk about? Now I want to say hi. Okay, boom, hung up. Next call. And then you kind of because these were topic driven morning shows. So if you're not calling about the topic, you need to go. There's 15,000 people wanting to call in and say. Hi, how are you? I love you guys. And that whole, and then as a producer, they don't understand that this is a show that is not a call-in show. Again, this was a talk show style morning show, which very rarely, I don't even think that they exist anymore or they've been watered down. But anyways, my point is there's a show structure, there's a rundown, and this is what you have to do. So when people call in, you got to tell them, listen, I thank you. Very nice that you're saying that you love the show, and but get to the meat of the matter so we can get you on the air. And then those calls are very short, and then you go to the next caller. And that is a horrible thing to do because you have to understand that you have to hang up on people.
You have to be the bad guy.
You have to be the bad guy.
Yeah. But you pride yourself on that.
I was the bad guy, and because I understood the assignment, I didn't give too much of a shit. So you kind of okay, listen, it's not personal.
Yeah.
This is, the bus driver needs to drive the bus. And the bus driver needs to stop at certain stops. If you don't make it to that stop and you get left behind, don't take it personal. It's just the bus driver's job.
Mikey is clearly thinking about, you have a side hustle as a bus driver?
No, I'm just using normal terminology so people understand.
This is a good segue for us to make sure we stick to the script.
Yeah, exactly. You got to stick to the bus route.
Let's jump into our first wine. It's been here waiting for us. All right, let me talk to you guys about this. All right, so this is a Chateau Candeley Bordeaux.
Production, can I get the bottle?
Yeah.
Thank you. Just
the bottle. It's 2020. You're smelling aromas of violet, red berries. The flavor you're going to be looking out for some blueberries, some black plum, chocolate, and with a smoky finish, my friend. This is how we're going to kick off the show.
It says 7-Eleven back here. That's what it says.
All right.
That's you're buying this shit at 7-Eleven.
Hold up, bro. Let me do this. No, this is actually not a 7-Eleven one.
And this smells like...
Not this one. The next one, I don't know. Look, hear me out.
Smells like MD 2020.
I introduced this one. But do you guys see? There's can we get it up close?
No, you can't.
95 points. Decanter Award. 95.
Wait.
Caught in a 7-Eleven.
Wait.
This is opening us up to our first wine tip.
I don't trust any of this. You realize that?
10
I
out
don't.
of 10. No, lo que falta es you thought I came here to drug you.
I don't like. I'll drink this one before.
Can we talk about
All right, go ahead.
the 5 S's of wine type? Wine
The
tasting?
5 S's.
The 5 S's of wine tasting.
There's S's to this shit. Holy crap! I thought I came here to drink wine.
Giving you a little bit more on the show.
Just keep
For those
saying
of you
worse.
that don't know, I'm just getting hot in here. I haven't even had a sip, bro.
You talk, I drink.
I feel
It's
like when
ridiculous.
we're tasting wine, right? A lot of people actually think that. They think it's ridiculous. I like to think that it's not so overly complicated. And yes, there is a little bit of a science to it, but that is what makes it more enjoyable. So when we're looking out for a proper quote unquote wine tasting, there's a few things. First is the sight. There you go. As Mikey's demonstrating himself, you kind of want to tilt that glass over. This is what you're kind of looking out for.
It doesn't have a lot of alcohol.
When there's red wine, because you got jumped into it. Can I get through the?
All right, go ahead, dude. Go ahead, do your thing.
As we check out the wine, check me out. The darker the red wine means the younger the red wine. If you're looking out for lighter hues, that would suggest that it's been aged for a certain particular period of time. When it's white wine, it's the opposite. When it's white wine, the lighter the wine, the younger it is, the darker the wine, the more aged it's been. Now we could get to the swirling part. How do you feel about your swirling technique? That's not bad. It's not bad.
Oh, you got to keep it in a cup. You can't,
Yeah, I mean, of course. So the idea behind the swirl, scientifically speaking, and this is supposed to be five simple
Your production has no respect, bro. No respect. You're talking so much. I'm gonna drink. Fuck that.
So you opened up the aromatics with the swirl, jumped into the. Did you sniff it? You didn't sniff it.
I did.
You did sniff
You
it.
missed it. You were talking crap, and I was sniffing the crap out of it.
Did
If
you
I
know
would have
how to
sniffed it
properly-
more,
You know how to properly sniff?
yeah, you put your nose in it.
Yeah, but you don't want to do like the long drawn like.
I am so sorry for your production
burning
team. They have to
the
put up with this shit
follicles.
every week. They have to put up with this.
They choose
This
to.
is painful. This has got to be one of the
They
most
learn. I'm
painful,
teaching them
one of the most
something.
painful podcasts I have ever been in. I mean, production doesn't even have water here to clear the palate. I mean,
There's water in the back.
this is
We
ridiculous.
reserved one bottle
you
of water.
have a bucket full of water.
He's not
a
gonna
bucket
drink.
and a
He's
mop.
not gonna drink it. He just wants to
You
know
have
that
a
there's
bucket
water.
and a mop.
He wanted me to roll out the carpet.
That's a wet ass.
Brother.
I'm drinking.
When you sniff, you're
No,
searching for
don't
that
sniff
those
anything,
aromas.
bro. Just drink. Stop
Don't
sniffing. I'm done sniffing. Sip.
That was a long time ago.
Shut up and
ba-
yes, a long time
in
ago. I haven't.
bathrooms in Miami. Now we could sip.
It's not bad. It's a little dry. It's a little freaking dry. This is definitely 7-Eleven.
Los Pichy Boys. Speak to me a little bit.
Who are they?
Who they are.
Michael Rodriguez and Alejandro Gonzalez. They are some very forward-thinking Cubans, young Cubans who came here about 18 years ago, and they were working at warehouses. And literally, I'm not kidding you. They were they were working at warehouses, just like most immigrants.
Most, yes, I say that all the freaking time. Yeah.
Most immigrants end up. You know, I was born in Cuba, but I came here when I was 9 years old. So by the time I was 15 and 16, I was also driving forklift and working at a warehouse, believe it or not. And they had the same beginnings, except that they were geared towards video production. And they would produce little videos, and one of them said, "Let's start putting it up on YouTube." YouTube wasn't really that heavy on content. Excuse me.
We're talking about
Especially
the
for
early
Hispanics,
days.
yeah, the early days. And they were kind of like the first, or one of the first Cubans that migrated, that started to use YouTube. And then, of course, you have to understand, if you run the clock back to that 18 years ago, even 20 years ago, broadcast media was very, they would look down to anything digital. or whether it was a website or whether it was a streaming app, there was no streaming apps back then, but websites or digital content on anything that has to do with the internet, they look down on those mediums.
Even when I got in the industry, it was still an afterthought.
Yes, it was an afterthought for radio for a very long time. And they started to put up these videos, and then they were contacted by a local Hispanic radio TV station, and they were like, you guys need to produce a video every day for us, a comedy bit, sketch, however you want to label that, so we can run it during the show. And they were very motivated because, and I don't have to tell you this, if you have a passion for something, you're going to push yourself to do that one thing that you want to do the best way that you can. And by the way, having said that, that means that you're going to have days that everything's going to go to shit, or days that your production's going to be horrible, or days that the content's not going to be there. Those days are there. They're part of the journey. Yeah. So they started to produce these little bits for a TV station, and also they continue to push their stuff on YouTube. And the funny thing is, their story is, and the conversations that I've had with them has always been, oh, when we used to do the stuff for TV, the TV people would tell us, oh, these are the kids that would do the videos for YouTube. Ha ha ha. Fast forward to 2024, and Pichy Films is now a self-sustaining video production machine that they no longer need to work for radio or TV. They have a YouTube channel. They have social media platforms. They are factoring money on
multiple platforms. I freaking seen you guys on billboards.
Yeah.
Speaking about your social media and just the Pichy Films, I think I picked up some of the accolades just doing research on you guys. You guys are 192 episodes in. 192.
Yeah.
There's a statistic.
By the way, I've only been with them for 3 years.
Right, which you caught that somewhere.
That means that when I came in, the podcast existed, but it didn't exist in the format that it exists now.
Correct.
So I mean,
yeah, I mean, dude, you got marketing, you got the broadcasting thing we were talking about earlier. So bringing something to the table is obviously it's part of the reasons why you're on that team and why you're essential on that team. I think I saw 1.9 million on Facebook alone, 900K on Instagram. Mm-hmm. So you guys have been doing a lot, to say the least. And speaking to them and their growth, you're, like I said earlier, you're the one person that I would allow to like come in here and like berate and like this is this and this is that. Yeah, dude, like let me be the sponge here. Like what are some of the things that keeps that engine going at the rate that it's going to?
Consistency.
Take? Right. Easier said than done.
Consistency and hard work. You have to be your biggest critic. You have to be your biggest cheerleader, and you have to be your biggest pusher. You're the guy who has to tell yourself, I gotta get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and prep because I gotta do this, and you gotta do that every day. That is what I've learned from them. You learn from everybody you're around. You learn from, if you're an idiot, if you walk into the room and you think that you're the smartest person in that room, you are an idiot.
You're in the wrong room.
Exactly. You need to learn from everybody. Look, I can learn from your production folks because you can never disconnect yourself from your roots. Things are moving very fast in the industry, very fast. So the young folks, the come ups, those guys, you should never treat them like, I know everything and you're just starting. No, you need to include them into when you are in a team and you get drafted into that team, right? You're part of the team. You're not the rookie that everybody needs to treat like crap. No, you're the rookie that is here for a reason. You didn't get drafted just because it's an act of charity. You got drafted because you got drafted. And then you have to integrate yourself into the team and bring to the team the best that you can.
100%.
And if you don't, 100%. You're going to be kicked out, and then you do your own thing, or you go work at another team. That's just the way things are.
Yeah.
But you can't walk into a room thinking that you know, that you are, that I don't, I never see myself sometimes how other people see me. Because in my eyes, I'm just another struggling creator or struggling. I will always be struggling because that's the thing. Never feel comfortable. You always have to feel like you're struggling to do this or that. The day that you sit there and go,
that is the dream.
I'm the best. I'm the best at this, and I've been doing this for 15. Fuck you. That's bullshit. You always need to struggle. Yeah. That's part of the journey. The day that you're not struggling is the day that you're dead. The day that you don't want to better yourself, the day that you don't want to do something different, the day that you don't want to be part of something and create. Creators will always be creating. If you're not creating, you're dead. You can't get complacent. You can't get comfortable. You can't get. I'm not saying that you don't have the right to enjoy your.
I was actually about to bring that up. Because what you're talking about, I like to call it the creative bug. You get bit by it. You're never you're never in standstill mode. You're always freaking going. What's the next thing? What I've learned though is that is the journey and that is the quote unquote dream. I try to somewhere along those lines, like I hit a milestone, and let's commemorate it, let's celebrate it, and
what's next?
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone who I've worked with in the industry, I used to work with a guy in the industry who's very far up the totem pole right now, and his mantra, his ritual. Was at the end of the year, everything that was around or that was in physical form that we did would go straight to the garbage. He would do a full cleanup of all the, what are we doing this, throw it out. What are we doing with this, throw it out. What are we doing, throw it out. And then the year would start fresh. It would be a reset button. But that reset button wasn't like, a reset button. No, that reset button was, what are we doing this year that we didn't do last year that we can move forward with this stuff. And I don't like to call it, I personally don't like to call none of those things goals. Goals are bullshit.
That was
I rather brand them as your wish list. So it's much better for you to psychologically get that into your head as this is my wish list for this year. And you write them down. I used to hate when I used to be in college or I used to work with other people in the industry, and they were like, "Oh, you gotta have goals," and that word always, I don't know why, it always struck me like something that you were forced to do, And mentally, I hated that. I hated, because you have to do it. When you are creative, sometimes having to do something because you have to do it, it sucks. It sucks, and that becomes a problem with consistency. Hear me out.
There's discipline in there.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So creatives need to have creative freedom. You got to feel good about what you're doing. And you have to set your wish list. Screw the goals. Because I've known many people who have started the year with multiple goals. And then by the end of the year, and what happened to your goals? Oh, they went to shit. Okay, so let's not use that. Let's use wish list. I'm going to make my wish list. My wish list this year is that I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to travel and I want to film this and I really want to go there and get some content and I want to talk about this. That's my wish list. Because when you wish something, you tend more to make your wishes a reality because you have the power. But if you have goals, and again, if that's something that you want to use, if you want to use that word, good for you. It doesn't work for me. And I came to realize that later in my life, that goals are bullshit. The word means nothing.
I think it comes down to the terminology, but I think the concepts are
it's the same. It's the same. But for me, to wish on something, to put the power of intent on something, and I've been very fortunate in my life because sometimes I feel like I have landed on things that I would have never dreamed that I would have been landing on that. Or by proxy worked with somebody or worked somewhere that I've always wanted to work, but I never would have imagined that I would have ended up there. Or ended up there not when I wanted to, but when the powers that be wanted you to be there. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. At the end of, depending on the industry, like sometimes it's not always in your control. So I think putting yourself in a position where you're wishing for certain things, like you make it that much more like this is a me thing. I'm in control of it. I speak to the similarities of it because I think at the end of the day, especially talking about how the idea that on the team that you're on today is a matter of like we wake up, we gotta do this stuff. You're not just wishing and hoping that it lands on your fucking lap. You're wishing and then you're strategically situating yourself to like get in line with that wish.
Yeah, I think that you're always, I mean, again, it goes back to your setting your mind up for intentions on what you want to do. If your mind is intent on doing that because that's your passion, that is what you want to do, you will energetically gravitate towards those things. By the way, and it goes for the bad stuff and it goes for the good stuff. If you program yourself that this is what I want to do and this is where I want to get to, eventually, brother, you're going to get there. You're going to get there. The one thing that you can't do is give up or have people tell you that. I had a guy, a close friend of mine, and this is a story that I've never told anyone. Never told anyone.
Coffee and Cabernet exclusive.
I had a good friend of mine that helped me, and he will always hold. He's still around. He would always hold a very special place in my heart. But he said one thing to me that was fucked up because that shit hit me in the back of the head really bad.
Okay.
And he said to me, again, the trauma has been there and it has been rolling around in my head for a long time. And this is just shit that happens. And it only takes, words have a lot of power. Hey, pay attention, I'm talking. Production's like flipping out somewhere, looking at Instagram and OnlyFans. I had some guy
trying to stick to the script and he's like, fuck the script. Let's talk.
I had some guy tell me in Spanish, he said, you don't have a voice for radio.
Ah.
Right?
And you were already in.
Then I was already in radio. I wasn't working on the air, but I was like involved with the station.
Which would entail that you were like, that was your goal.
Right. And then my
or you wish.
My goals were never to work on the air.
Okay.
My goals were only to work in production. Okay. I was always going to school for production. I was never going to school to be on the air. But you have plans and you have a wish list, and then the higher powers have your plans. Like one day, this is what you want to do, and then the next day, your boss is knocking on the door, walking into the studio, and he's looking at you, going, "Hey, do you know how to work the board?" And you go, "Yeah." And he goes, "You start on the radio. You start on air on Saturdays." And you're like, "But," and they're like, "You're Saturday, 8:00 here." You're on the air. And then those things just happen. And
is that or a White House, no?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that exchange with that person taught me to understand that someone's perspective, a point of view about you does not define what you can or will do. You are the one who's in charge of making that happen. Period. End of story.
From the mind of Mikey Reyes.
Well, what's left of it?
Did the wine feel any of that?
No, it's horrible.
No, but
it's going to give me kid.
But it's gone.
I'm telling you, this thing's going to give me kidney stones.
You've earned yourself another glass.
Production, get rid of this.
Let's move on. Okay. All right, so the next one we're sipping is a David Finlayson Cabernet.
Production's going to get that for you.
Cabernet Sauvignon. 2020 vintage. This one from South Africa, my friend.
I've never had a South African.
Wait, what?
I did know this South African girl.
Oh, okay.
She was fine as hell. She was from.
Was she fresh, minty, back with mocha, vanilla, oak aromas, blackberry flavor?
This woman was fine as hell.
What was the say? The
She
blacker
was
the
so
berry,
fine.
the sweeter the juice.
She was so fine that she would walk by and grown ass man would cry. She. I'm not gonna. Just in case she sees this. She's somebody baby mama now.
This one has aging potential, by the way.
Who?
Not the baby mama,
Oh.
bro. Not the baby.
She does have aging potential. No, she's definitely a MILF right now.
Mikey.
With all due respect.
My earlier, let's pivot here.
This smells a little. It smells better.
It
It smells better. It smells better.
I'm trying here.
Let's see what this tastes like. You're talking too much, bro. Shut up.
This is CBS. Don't show him the bottle,
All
bro.
right.
The labeling's off.
Give me that production.
How'd you do that?
Give me that. This is actually good. This is actually better than that swill you fucking gave me.
I knew how to start.
Garbage. You
It
gave me
was
the
a
crap
Bordeaux.
first.
Bordeaux.
Bordeaux's are supposed to be good. That's not a 93-point Bordeaux. That's a 93-point
95
Bordeaux
Bordeaux.
in freaking Cambodia, not in the United States of America.
Glad you like this one, my friend. South Africa. I remember when I had
Very
it, I was
nice,
like,
man.
Okay.
Hey, production, if you can put your finger in, is that one indented? Is the cab indented?
Go. He's gonna. No, it's not. It's not. Go. Talk to him.
Is it
Marketing
indented?
stuff.
Pick it up.
Go.
Is there?
No, there's not.
No.
There's not. There's not. I can tell
Well,
there's not.
there you
But
go.
that one there is.
That one has
Can
a
you speak to
has
a
a
little bit
deep
of that?
butt.
Here's another wine tip.
What?
There's a reason for it. You
Well,
know?
you tell the reason. You're the wine expert. I just drink this shit.
All right, marketing perspective. The indentation under the bottle means that they're like screwing you with the amount of alcohol, right? So it's gonna be less wine because there's less bottle.
It also helps the wine, supposedly. I'm not a wine expert,
No,
but
tell me what you know, bro.
supposedly. I might be wrong, but it says that it helps the wine. There's
Now,
a big indentation on the bottom.
from the service.
But this is very good.
This-
I'm surprised. very surprised.
You give me a chance. You give a young man a chance. He'll make something of himself. So here we are, surprising Mikey on our second bottle. The service industry suggests that indentation allows the server to better pour the wine, which would mean that this is a wine.
Nobody pours the wine on the butt in Miami, unless you're like in a high-end restaurant. Most people just wrap a napkin and they pour it like this. This is Miami, brother.
I love that you said that. That's actually another question down the road. Hear me out. You spoke to how the industry is rapidly changing, right?
What industry? Which one?
Media, digital
Yes,
industry.
it
right?
is.
With that said, I think AI has become very popularized over the last 2 years, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
Recently, somebody on Reddit asked ChatGPT
Okay.
to roast Miami. I'm going to read this to you.
Okay.
Miami, where the weather is hotter than the traffic arguments, but not as humid as the tourist desperation to find parking. It's a city that can't decide if it wants to be South America, a cruise ship terminal, or a music video set. The skyline screams luxury, but drive a block away and you're doing potholes big enough to swallow a Vespa. And let's talk about the nightlife. Half the people in the club have rented their outfits, their cars, and probably their personalities. In Miami, everything is fake except the attitude. The only thing more inflated than the real estate prices are the egos of people claiming they work in finance while promoting NFTs on Instagram. It's the only place where you can spot a millionaire and someone who just spent their last $200 on bottle service at the same table, and they're both arguing over whose boat is parked closer. You gotta love Miami, and that was straight from ChatGPT.
I think that changing some of the aspects of that,
What would you add?
it could literally be also a description of Los Angeles.
Okay. I think
Maybe 15 years ago, LA.
similar coasts, similarities within.
There's a lot of similarities, and I think that it's a for someone who's been on the West Coast and someone who's been in New York and someone who's been in Chicago. And I've been traveling. I traveled well with the Dolphins when I used to travel with them.
Okay.
I can tell you that there's a lot of similarities in every major city. It has its own dynamics. It has its own vibe. It has its own personality.
Yeah.
Chicago has a different personality than New York. LA has a very different personality than Chicago and New York. And Miami is just a whole different ballgame. I call it the independent Republic of South Florida.
I like that you said that, because you also mentioned how LA could have been what I just read 15 years ago, which would suggest that it's changed. The mayor wants to make this the tech capital of the world.
The mayor's an idiot.
Experts.
The mayor of Miami is a fucking moron. I'm sorry, that's my personal opinion. He is somebody who is a celebritoid.
This is gonna be a promo for.
He is somebody who is a show in his own. He is going to end up working on some kind of entertainment news eventually. I think so.
There was a writer that was berating and bashing him earlier this year on, I think it was Miami New Times. I haven't heard from the guy since, after like 3 articles.
The rag. So my personal opinion of Miami is an animal that has been genetically altered, and it's now turning into something that is so crazy
Ingenuine?
in a very short amount of time. So the gestation period of a project, how about that? Let's use project, not bus. The gestation period of a project, there's a process, right? Whether it's a production project or a movie project or a lifestyle project or whatever project. And I think that the gestational period of the changes that are occurring in Miami are very fast forward. And the catalyst of that situation was COVID. When COVID started, a lot of the folks from these major cities that I mentioned decided to take off to Florida. Let's be honest. Right now, there's more millionaires in Palm Beach than there were ever been in Palm Beach. There's more money in South Florida than there has ever been in South Florida. Ever. All of these folks are moving down here. Bezos has 3 properties on here. 2 of them
Better
are
taxes.
his parents. The other 4 properties. 2 of them are his parents. The other 2 are his. They're all here. They're all coming down here. So when you have people like those folks coming down here, they don't come here alone. Like, you don't hear about the team that is now Miami based. Because let's be honest, you can't seriously do what you do and live down here without you having a crew down here with you. And I'm not talking about your security crew or your, your. No. I'm talking about your crew, the people that work with you, your right hand and your left hand. They have to be somewhere.
Who are hopefully smarter than you, because we said something about that earlier.
And they have to be here. They have to live here. And they're bringing their money with them, because these people are not poor. They don't get paid $15 an hour. Mm-hmm. They have some big-ass salaries. So every time that these folks move down here, whoever the hell they are, they're coming with their people. And they're setting up shop. They're renting an office. They're renting Brickell is going to be the Manhattan of the South. It is.
I think
when you have the Porsche building and the this building and the other building and the Coco Chanel building and the Mercedes building and all these, and you're like, what the fuck is going on in Brickell, bro? Who's buying these properties?
You remember just like, I think it was just 10 years ago, like the difference.
Yes.
The difference.
Absolutely, I remember the difference. Huge difference.
Where are we going as a county, as a city? That was gonna be the question. Like, where do we see Miami going in 10 years? You speak to like the development, and what's crazy is while people are freaking building things up, it's freaking blowing up. We have buildings that are sinking, like Miami condos that are sinking.
I saw the report. I saw the report. It's wild. I think that everything has its lifespan. I think that when I was 13, 14 years old in Miami, and I saw South Florida become a drug haven, and cocaine cowboys was the lay of the land, and people were getting killed, and businesses were opening up everywhere, and it was a huge influx of cash.
How deep did you get into that?
I was very young, but I can tell you this: it was not uncommon to have at least one member of your family or knew of somebody who had a member of their family that was involved in the drug trade. Like, people don't realize how wide ranging this was. There are people who became millionaires, flipped their bad stuff into legitimate business, and now are considered business moguls in this town. Some of them are not around anymore, but that's a reality.
So when they say that Miami was built off of cocaine,
no, that is completely untrue.
No, it's untrue.
That is completely untrue. The way that I frame it is, that was the shit that happened during that period of time.
Okay.
Before Miami was Miami, Mary from Brickell Village, Mary,
Yeah.
was trying to convince Flagler to build a railroad to South Florida. She was trying to, she's the founder of Miami. She's the first woman who founded a major city in the United States. She was trying to convince Flagler to bring the railroad down here, man, because railroad meant goods and meant people coming down here for tourism. She pushed that. So that was the thing during that time. And then we had military here in the 50s. The Biltmore Hotel in Coral Gables, which is a presidential style hotel. You agree, right?
It's beautiful.
The presidents have stayed there.
History, like.
Do you know that shit was closed all the way to, it was condemned for decades.
No,
that was a military hospital. Military stayed there. It was closed for a ton of years until somebody bought it and turned it into what it is now. So everything has this period in time. We have gone through different periods in time, and it's an indicative of how fluid and dynamic South Florida is. Like, when I went to school, I'm gonna tell you how I went to school, how I went to high school here. My high school experience was Cubans, Nicaraguans, and Haitians. That was my experience. Why? Because those were the people who were getting out of Dodge and coming over here because of communism and bad, horrible people taking over their countries. They weren't leaving their countries because everything was good. They were leaving their countries because shit was bad. So when I went to school, when I went to Miami-Dade, those were my peers. Those are the people that I studied with. Those are the people that I worked with. Those were the people that I shared moments with. But eventually that changed, and that's good. There's nothing wrong with that.
Constantly changing.
It's just the dynamic. The only problem that I have is the way that everything is moving now. It's like on speed. It looks like the whole entire area took a bump of coke and everybody's moving at 150,000 miles per hour. And the local folks are having an issue trying to calibrate with all the changes. Because if you're from the outside coming in with money, you're good, you're solid. But the hometown people, the people who are 305, who love the city, who understand the city, who go to Brickell, who go to Little Havana, who go to Little Haiti, who go to all of these areas to experience, because we know the cafeterias and we know the mom and pop shops, and that's what we enjoy going to. Those folks are the ones that are having the most issue trying to mitigate with what's going on right now. And that's okay. Again, I don't take it as people go, oh, it's horrible. It's going to destroy, and it's part of growth. Yeah. And I don't want to sound like an a-hole. I don't. But you can't stop progress. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to say this, if you can't afford to live here, then you need to do better for you and your family.
That's a harsh reality
and
for
it
people
is.
that have been here for
And it is. I can't afford to live. I cannot afford to live in certain areas of New York. me personally, I can't afford to live in LA. I can't afford to live in areas in California that I've been to that I find them to be spectacular.
You've worked there though. Now the reality is this is the place where you grew up in. And a lot of people are like facing that challenge. It's like, damn, like I can't afford this anymore.
Nope. I can't afford to buy a house in the city that I grew up in the United States. I can't right now. Right now I can't.
We talked about this off record, Mikey. Like the things that I was told growing up that I needed to be able to live the life that like one comes from their country here to try to achieve. I have those things, and I'm like, well, shit, that's not what it is anymore because that changed too.
Yeah.
Now you need more.
Yeah.
Now you need more.
Yeah. But I am a firm believer of with every crisis, for lack of a better word, there's opportunities.
Yes.
There's opportunities.
I'm stubborn.
You
I'm
have
stubborn. I
to
think
look for those
stubborn, too.
opportunities. No, I have. It's not being stubborn. It's understanding. And again, it takes time for you to understand these. For some people, it takes time. It took me some time to understand that hard times will come, difficult periods will come. It's just how you mitigate with those situations is what's going to make the difference. And once you understand that and you move beyond that situation, because nothing lasts forever, everything is fluid. You're going to have some years that are going to be tougher than others. You're going to have some situations that are going to be some tougher than others. You're going to be placed in a situation where you're not going to know where your next paycheck is going to come from. But at the end of the day, you have to understand that everything's going to be fine. Do you know how many times I've had a talk with my wife and she's come to me and says, this, that, and the other, and I look at her and I go, we're going to be okay. And we are. So for all those people who are going through shit, you're going to be okay.
To me, that's where I mentioned the whole stubbornness part. It's an understanding that as things change, we have to like figure out what's the next step. How do we change with it? How do we adapt to these things? I too I'm not hating on the growth. I'm not. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to like embrace the things because the change that has been happening, if you are in the right situation, you could start to actually see them before they even start to develop. And if you figure that out and you situate yourself, let's say you're a business owner and you decided to open up a shop, even if it doesn't make all the sense in the world, but you have some kind of brick and mortar situation and a spot that is becoming or will become gentrified just because you analyzed all the other areas that have already been gentrified, you might put yourself in the right situation for years to come.
I think that overall, my thing is don't turn yourself into being overcritical about what's going on because you have no control over it. That's not, you can't change anything that's coming and you can't change anything that's happening. What you could do is try to figure out a way how to make things better. Use the opportunity for your betterment, and not be the one person in the room going, oh, because this is happening and oh, we have to stop them from this. And you listen. If you had $100 million and you could buy 3 blocks of commercial real estate because you were going to develop the shit out of that, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. Whether it's good or bad, you're looking at one thing and one thing only. You are looking for a return on your investment. So gentrification, I hear that word all the time. My wife has been in real estate for a while and the title agency side, not the realtor. But gentrification is a real thing. Gentrification also means growth. And yes, there's displacement. I'm going to tell you one of the biggest gentrifications that I got to see as a young adult, well, as a teenager. One of the biggest gentrifications that I saw firsthand was what happened in South Beach. Now, most people, and probably your production crew, either of these people could be my kids, they don't, there's no reference point for them of how South Beach used to be. Like, their view of South Beach
is what it is.
Is what it is now.
Yeah.
But they don't understand that South Beach was nothing but buildings full of old retired folks sitting on the front porch. Do you imagine driving down Ocean Drive and every single building there was old folks sitting on the front of those buildings waiting to fucking die? That was South Beach. That was South Beach.
I can't
It
even
was
picture
a
that.
retirement. It was heaven's waiting room. People waiting to die, retired at the, and then you could actually see some of that in some of the footage from Scarface.
Scarface, yeah.
From Scarface. If you watch that
Oh
film,
my God, it's totally different.
if you watch that film, you're gonna see some of that because they kept some of that texture in the background.
It was like a 2-story apartment building in the film.
Yeah.
Today's a CVS.
Today's a CVS. they only got
Strategically placed.
that-
I'm grateful for it because, you know, everything else is like...
That's cool. By the way, most of Scarface, which is a cult film, was not filmed in Miami. I know you.
Oh, no. Why you tell them,
Some
Mikey? You're
people were-
spilling it, bro.
They were, but the outside shots of some of those areas, they were obviously shot here. The shots at the Fontainebleau was the Fontainebleau, which just looks nothing like what it did back then. But anyways, my point is, the biggest gentrification was South Beach. South Beach was a dump. I hate to say that, but it was a dump. It was just retirement, people in retirement sitting there, you know, your grandma, your granddad sitting on the front porch of these hotels, beachfront. And then all of a sudden, these developers came in and they said, yo, all these properties are like prime.
Yeah.
We just need to get grandma the fuck out of here. You know, we need to put grandma somewhere else. And there was some pushback and there was a whole thing that happened, you know, but it worked out to what it is now.
Yeah.
You know, that whole entire area has become a major draw for tourism.
It's been controversial. I think.
I don't go.
Viste.
I don't
That's
go.
my thing. That's my thing. We had an episode.
You need to
here.
know your place in the bus, brother.
Bro, I know my
Your place in the bus is not South Beach.
Bro,
That's for the folks that come from out of town that are going to spend the money. That is going to make sure that the folks who live here have jobs in restaurants, have jobs in the hotels, who are properly employed. That's what that's for.
Nah, but you see, there you're talking about. I feel a little bit after south or north of Fifth, going on to past like the hotel chain.
No, all of that. I'm
The
talking from
hotel
down,
chains.
from Fifth Street all the way up.
When you're talking from Fifth to the places where the spring breakers go,
Yeah.
for example.
Yeah.
That's like a different animal. You go past
Yeah.
13th or 15th, I think it is, and then it becomes this other spot, which I think you're speaking a lot to. The way that those buildings have developed, the way that those hotels cater to those people that are coming from out of town, versus the crowds that you get like on South Beach on a typical weekend. My whole thing is I enjoy the idea of taking in the beauty of what South Beach is today, because it tends to be a controversial thing.
I don't think that it's all bad. I think that it's just stuff that happens, and you kind of like have to embrace it. And I used that as an example because that is probably in my book one of the biggest changes of an area in South Florida in my lifetime living here. That has been one of the biggest ones.
It's not the cows and the montes that used to be in Hialeah, Miami Lakes. And now
It's just different because you're talking about an area that was developed and then all of a sudden it just flipped into something else. When you talk about, you know, an area that had cow fields and then all of a sudden it's restaurants and shops and rental units, to me that's a little different because eventually that's going to be...
that's what should happen.
It should happen.
There's only one South Beach.
Right.
Exactly.
The other huge transitional area for me, it's what's going on in Wynwood right now. But
Yeah.
and people have been bitching and complaining about what's coming to Wynwood. The problem is that when that happened, like it's shocking to me that people are so ignorant that they don't understand that when the company or the gentleman who came in here and bought all those buildings and bought all that area that was a shit show, it was just crappy neighborhoods. Sorry, it was. When he came in and he bought all of that, and he sat with the city, if, like I said, going back to my what I said previously, if you have $100 million, and they tell you can buy whatever commercial or residential property that you want, you're going to go buy it because you want a return on your investment. It's not personal. This is business. And he went in there, Mr. Mana, and he did something there that he'd done in other parts of the world. He bought that whole entire area. But not only did he buy that whole entire area, he showed the city exactly what he wanted to do with it when he bought it. So he had a whole planned development with buildings and this and that of what he wanted to do. You fast forward, 7-8 years later, and people are in shock that all of this is coming to Wynwood. Brother, what planet are you from? This guy just came here and bought blocks upon blocks upon blocks of real estate, and he showed you what he wanted to do with it, and now everybody's in shock of what's coming to Wynwood. Don't be an idiot. This was part of the plan.
Yeah.
And by the way, he has 7 buildings in downtown Miami.
You're either on the bus or you're not on the bus.
Exactly.
You're either on the bus or you're not.
And that's okay. You don't have to. Your place in the bus doesn't have to be the same as everybody. Downtown Miami is, and I'm gonna put it to you this way. Like when I go to downtown Atlanta, I happen to like Atlanta.
I do too.
My son went for the first time last year.
That's why we get along.
And he loved it. He's like, Dad, my son is 17. He goes, Dad, I love Atlanta. And I'm like, it's just Atlanta. It's like Miami North. Just a little different. But he happened to like it. And when you visit a lot of these downtowns, like downtown Chicago, it's not downtown Miami. The situation in Miami, downtown Miami is a little different. There's some growth potential. So the guy from Wynwood, Mr. Mana, went and he bought 7 buildings on Flagler. And now he went to Flagler Street and ripped off the asphalt of the street and replaced it with cobblestones.
One of my favorite bars is actually like a part of that little mix right there.
What is it?
It's called Lost Boy. Lost Boy.
I have to go there.
Yeah.
I was there recently.
Rustic.
I took the missus there for the food hall that Harry Julie and Harry. The first time, I've known about it.
Yeah.
But it's I said to her, I was dropping off my son somewhere, and I'm like, we're gonna go to this place in downtown because you always tell me you don't ever take me to a new place. I'm gonna take you to a new place. And we walked in there, and she was like, oh, my God. And it was very lively. There was police everywhere, very safe. And that's what they're trying to do there.
What do you rate it? What do you rate it? Out of 10.
The food hall?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me put it to you this way. Okay. I like it a lot more than where Power is right now. The food hall where Power is now.
I like that. Like, yeah, that's why I like it. And I believe I know the name of that spot too, yeah.
And I think that it's phenomenal. We found a bar there that is great. We sat there and we drank.
Oh, that's awesome.
I walked around. We were going to have dinner somewhere else. We had already had reservations at another restaurant in Doral. But as I walked around the food hall, I'm like, yo, I could easily eat in like a solid 5 places in this food hall without any problem.
Aquí nos quedamos. From downtown to Doral. Wow.
Okay. Yeah, but we had reservations in that place.
Bueno. I like that.
Which wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
Speaking of drinking, you ready for the next one?
Yeah, sure. Let me.
Yeah. Let's watch that out. All right, jumping into our next wine. I asked you if you have a preference. You told me, so I deliver.
This is a Pinot Noir?
This is a Pinot Noir. This is called the Four Graces. This is from Willamette Valley, Oregon. You're looking out for aromas of black cherry, red raspberry, and dark chocolate. Flavor is going to be cherry and raspberries. It's perfectly balanced, a little bit of acidity, the way a Pinot Noir should be. Now, I emphasize on Willamette Valley, not only because I had to make sure I knew how to pronounce it correctly, because I thought it was Willamette, is Willamette.
Right.
But it's no secret. The best places for wine is Europe. Right,
Well, it depends.
Ah.
I thought that California wines were shit, and then somebody turned my.
Well, the idea is that like the grapevines once upon a time, like that's like the motherland for wine. You go to certain different regions in other parts of the world, and that's where they start to develop their own personalities and their own distinctness.
I like my stuff from Rhone, French. Rhone, the area of Rhone where the Bordeaux comes from.
There you go.
The Chateau de Pope, which is the Chateau of the Pope.
Yeah.
It's around that area too, and the wines from there are good. They come with a seal on every bottle. Those wines are good.
They know what they're doing over there.
Yeah.
You know where the second best?
I don't like Italian wines though.
Where's the second best place to
Where?
get Pinot Noirs from?
Where?
Oregon, which is where this wine is from.
Let's see.
I like the hue.
This is good.
Yeah.
It's good.
We got to vote.
It's good. Tastes kind of weird. Compared to the other one, it tastes a little different.
I mean, we're talking about different wines here. Oh, that's nice.
It's very nice.
That's very nice. That's
Production.
Very, that's very
bottle.
Nice. Show off the bottle.
Nice bottle. I like the.
And keep it. Yeah, we're gonna keep it here. I like this wine too.
Very
bro.
pretty.
I like this wine.
It's very pretty.
Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir just tends to like just flow, bro. Pinot Noir just tends
This
to
is
flow.
nice.
Te gusta? Would you buy that at a restaurant?
Yes, I would.
Good, fantastic. Because
I
that's
would
our
definitely.
next wine tip. We're going to talk about the 7 tips on how to order wine. First and foremost, embrace the all-knowing, meaning if there's a som on deck, if there's a server, he knows what he's talking about. Have the conversation with the guy. He knows this is what he gets paid to do.
Well, most people, if you go to a restaurant that knows what the hell they're doing, they're going to have a well-trained staff to sell the product, and that happens all the time. I have quite a few friends who own restaurants. Some of them I can't walk into because every time that I come out, I'm drunk. And
here's another friend of yours getting you drunk. Strategic. You're probably going to a
like, come
restaurant.
over. Like, I'm not coming over. I'm not coming over.
And then you're there.
But I have this one brother and sister team that own an Italian restaurant in Harding Avenue called George's Italian Restaurant.
Okay.
And they have been there for a very long time. And their wine selection is pretty freaking decent. But a lot of these restaurants, the good restaurants, they train their staff on helping you navigate through the choices that they have for wine. So if you are somebody who likes stuff that is more fruity or sparkling, or if you want something with a lot of alcohol content, you could do a Malbec or a Merlot. Or if you want something a little bit more light that you can have multiple bottles of, Pinot Noir is your boy.
You're basically transitioning into the question, but before we get to the question, the tips, the next one would be tell them what you like. Look, you told me Pinot Noir. If you're at a restaurant, let them know what it is that what you typically enjoy.
Yep.
Don't make it too confusing. Let them know what your palate usually is, what you're consuming. That way they could, like, you're steering them in the right direction. You're helping them out.
I think that overall, your palate changes.
Yes. Oh, yes. That's why I was telling you about the oysters earlier.
I mean, no, that's just not
oysters.
It's not a thing for me.
Question on the palate. Oysters, yes or no?
No, hell no.
Say yes. Charred grilled from New Orleans, preferably.
No. I like my salmon medium rare, by the way.
Oh, that's interesting.
Medium rare.
Yeah.
Salmon is a one fish you can have rare or overcooked.
Is that if it's going to be rare, it needs to be in chug. It needs to be in little chunks.
I hate overcooked fucking. I would rather you undercook my salmon than overcook it.
Brother, budget. For wine, here's a cool tip.
That's probably if I was to price that, I'll tell you right now. And I don't know how much you pay for that.
Go ahead. This is sommelier's level stuff right here. 10 out of 10 wine.
I would
drunk connoisseur.
probably price that between $15 and $18.
So a little north of that. A little, not too much.
A little north of
A
that.
little north of that. A little north of that.
So 20.
This one's actually retailed at 27. 27.
Holy shit!
27.
You got ripped off.
Brother.
No. It's listen. It's good. It's good. But I've tasted
I mean, of course.
wine. You know what I like to? I love Total Wine. Like I go. You know how
It's
women.
the Toys R Us of freaking.
Yeah, you know
like,
how
adults.
women go to like my wife goes to Target and she fucking disappears.
That's you at Total Wine.
Yeah, that's me at Total Wine.
Okay.
Total Wine and me are best friends. But I'm also a Costco member, and I've found that Costco has a decent. They don't have a massive amount of wines, but they have decent amount of wines, and I've been able to find some good stuff over there.
Deals, right?
Yeah, I've been able to find some
a
good
BJ's.
stuff.
I remember I used to go to BJ's. I didn't have a membership.
I like decent
go
stuff.
to the liquor store.
Not the liquor store. They don't have that in the liquor. They have it on the other side.
They have it inside. Okay.
They have it in the store, not the liquor side. The liquor side is just liquor.
Okay.
Liquor.
A cool tip when you're at a restaurant ordering wine and you're trying to, let's just say you're impressing a date or wifey, and you don't want to say the price range more or less, and like we just talked about, like this is price more or less where it's at. You could easily get yourself into the $300 range of bottles.
A lot more.
Easily,
A
right?
lot more than that, yeah.
To avoid this, and as you're having the questions with the server or the som about like what you usually drink, you could just simply point to the menu and just be like, hey, I usually drink things around this range, and that's a key indicator, but you're actually pointing to the price range. This is a cool tip.
I say that most restaurants would, and let's start here. Most restaurants price their wine 3 times over.
For
so
sure.
if it's a
This is
$15 bottle, you're going to pay $45 for it. That's basically what I've seen. It also depends what restaurant. So it might be twice as much. It could be 3 times as much. It all depends. And by the way, it all depends on the geographical area. I experienced this last winter when I traveled to Knoxville, Tennessee. The wife and I went to a brewery / lounge.
Okay.
That brewed their own beer, but they also had like a full liquor bar and tapas. And the owners were there. It was like pretty late. Not late on our clock down here. Late is like 4 o'clock in the morning. Late for them is probably 11:30, 12.
Yeah.
And I went to the bar and I told the bartender in Knoxville, Tennessee, I said, let me get an old fashioned. An old fashioned, obviously, they're made with bourbon. And I'm looking, because I pay attention all the time. That's one of my things. I pay attention. And I see the owner go back there and grab a specific bottle and make me my old fashioned. She brings me the old fashioned and places it down in front of me. And I'm like, ooh, I'm going to get killed. This old fashioned, what I saw her grab, man, she's going to hit me with the belt.
No,
And I had
the way
that-
you said that is like you were like, well, she went to go grab it. She probably went down there. It wasn't no top
No,
shelf.
she went up there.
Oh, okay.
She went up
Oh,
there.
so you're meaning not
And I
flavor wise, you
thought-
meant price wise.
Yeah, I
okay,
was
I'm
like,
following.
she's gonna slay
I'm
me.
following.
And this goes back to location, and pricing, and we ate. Food was good. They closed down the kitchen. It was like a bar bites, but it was decent.
Okay.
Closed down the kitchen, and I told my wife, let's just go. I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee, right outside of downtown Knoxville, and
The
owner
tab
comes
game.
over.
Okay.
She hands me the
owner
tab,
too.
and I look at the bill, and I almost had a heart attack. I said,
This is why
I-
the tip.
I called her over and I said, I can't believe you charged me $15 for an old fashioned made with $120 bottle of bourbon. Do you know how much I would have paid for this in Miami? $25.
Probably more. Probably. You have the blue label.
She was like, "What? Are you serious?" I go, "That I know what you served me. That bottle of bourbon cost $100, over $100. This old fashioned in Miami would have been $25. You charged me $15. I'm in shock. Again, location. It depends where you go have dinner, and that's going to matter about what you're going to be paying for that bottle of wine.
Took production to we went to a restaurant in downtown Fort Lauderdale, and I went and looked at the MSRP of this bottle that, like, coincidentally is also Pinot Noir. That kind of blew my mind. $50. But that taste was like phenomenal.
That's a $20 bottle.
They were charging $80. They were charging $80 there. So
it's probably a $30 bottle.
Buy it.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, you could buy it at the store for $50. A total wine was selling it for $50.
Okay.
They were charging $80. So yes, it's true. Like location and you upcharging.
That's not a bad markup though.
Nah, not at all. And great wine. Because the truth is, there's some wines that are priced.
But here's the thing with wine, it's the most fucked up thing. And I'm gonna explain to you. If you go to a bar or a restaurant and you order a beer, maybe that beer has been marked up like a $5, $6, $7 for an import, and you're like, I'm okay with that. But wine at a restaurant, it is kicked up so far up. Hear me out. The bottle of wine that the restaurant just put in front of you, they didn't pay what you're getting it at Total Wine for.
For sure.
They're getting that $20 bottle of wine for $10. Right? And they're pricing it up so high up.
Probably less when you think about like mass purchases. What's that called? Wholesale. Like when
yeah.
Getting bottles on
right. When you have a license to buy wine and beer or liquor, you're gonna get your stuff at a discounted rate, and then you get to sell it to whatever price you want to within, not excessive.
You know anybody who's in that game that like sells, like their job is to like
whole
work for Bacardi, for example?
No.
And they go to like restaurants.
No. And most of there used to be a company here. It's called something else now, but it was God, I forgot the name of it. Southern Wine and Spirits, which is now called something else. They're the major distributor of wines down here for restaurants. It's called something else now. They changed names, but they are the ones in charge of selling the wholesale wines to whoever the hell wants to buy it. And of course, there's a bunch of other distributors down here that provide the restaurants with their stuff. My thing is, look, when I was 20-something years old, I thought that a Long Island iced tea was the shit. The Long Island iced tea is literally...
Cheers to those of you that still think that.
It's literally...
You're brave souls. You're brave souls. That production
Long Island iced tea is basically... I got
diabolical.
I got $20 in my pocket. I'm going to the club and I'm gonna get fucked up.
That's all I got.
And that's what you're gonna drink. You're gonna drink 2 of those and be shit faced. And everybody goes through their process. When I met my wife, my current wife, I met her when she was 19, and I was like almost leaving my 20s. We're almost 9 years apart in age. And she was drinking all kinds of fruity drinks. Like, she was legit drinking all kinds of the fruity drinks that girls get served at the bars and the nightclubs. And they're like, oh my God, it tastes so good. And it's just cheap liquor with a lot of sugar. And then once you get so messed up with that, you're going to throw up and you're going to have like a massive hangover the next day. When I was 18 years old, I was working at a nightclub as a DJ. So I started to be exposed to a certain amount of alcohol right away. I know that sounds crazy. It was the 1980s. Don't judge me.
Yeah, the kids don't even like that anymore. Crazy.
No. So I was introduced to like the Red Devils and Long Island iced teas and White Russians and all these drinks that you're like, yo, these things are like, they're like made for you to get, hyped up. But as I got older and older, I started to develop a palate for like whiskey. Like when I was younger, I couldn't drink whiskey. I thought that was disgusting as hell.
Do you have a neat? You have a neat now, huh?
I know. I always have it over ice.
Yeah.
Because it opens up the flavor a little bit.
Yes.
And I have single malt.
Okay.
Not blended. Like I used to be a Johnny Walker thing, and then I don't touch Johnny Walker anymore.
Yeah, that's understandable.
I do single malt, Scotch or Irish.
The Japanese ones are, I think.
I got into bourbon maybe 7 years ago. I got into bourbon. No, less than that. Probably 5 years ago, I got into bourbon. 5-6 years ago, I got into bourbon. And now I have a palate for bourbons. Like I know what bourbons I like and what bourbons I don't like. And bourbon, by the way, is American whiskey. Bourbon usually comes from either Kentucky or
we might have to change the name of the show.
What's it, Louisiana? It's
Kentucky and Tennessee, yeah.
There's Tennessee, and I think there's some coming up from Louisiana too. But it's like American whiskey. Please understand that we have our own whiskey here. It's called bourbon. Mm-hmm. But
whereas the Irish
whiskey tends to be a little sweeter, to the palate. But a lot of people don't work well with bourbon. Bourbon is a very strong,
spirit driven. It's a spirit forward.
The flavor is very
forward. Yeah.
But as I got older, I started to develop my palate for these things. And wine, I think it's one of the things that people don't understand, and I think it happens with Scotch too, is that it happens with everything. Let me rephrase that. We are so attentive to what is being marketed to us, and this is coming from a marketing person, that a lot of the stuff that is being marketed to us is not really top shelf stuff. Let me explain. If you're drinking Patron, you're drinking shit tequila.
We're going. Yeah, we're going there. A lesson right now, masterclass lesson.
If you were drinking Patron, let me rephrase that. If you're drinking Patron, you're drinking shit tequila. That's shit. Garbage.
Keep going.
Help yourself.
Keep going, Mikey. Keep going.
Help yourself. I'm gonna give you a tequila that is probably going to help you understand what real tequila tastes like.
Have it now?
No, I actually have it in my house, but it's called Legado. Legado. Legado tequila. You could buy the Total Wine. You could buy either the silver, or you could buy the Reserve, the Reposado. Please buy the Reposado. It's got the amber color.
Production is an avid tequila guy.
Brother, it's the big bottle, the big ass bottle. First of all, it doesn't come in plastic. So the big liter bottle or the under liter bottle of a Legado tequila is probably going to cost you around $30. The regular size bottle that is like this, looks like a wine bottle, is probably going to be like about, I don't know, $20. It's an amazing tequila. I use it for mixed drinks, or you can sip it. Yes, there's such a thing as sipping tequila. I buy it at the house. That's what I consume in my house. It's amazing. I don't buy Patron. I think Patron is garbage. I think there's a ton of tequilas out there that are 100% better than Patron as far as flavor is concerned, and color and everything else in between. Go to Total Wine, ask around. Don't fall for the BS bottles that look pretty in your house that you're paying $150 for. Cuervo has been doing tequila for a very long time. They have some good products. Herradura, which is the one with the horseshoe, also makes some pretty good tequila. They had a tequila that was a double cask. It came in a black bottle that was amazing. They don't make that anymore. My thing is, go and experiment with stuff that you enjoy, that makes sense, and don't throw your money away. There's a lot of things out there, including wine, that you can get for a decent price that is not going to break the bank.
Like this Pinot Noir.
And you're going to enjoy it. But don't follow the marketing bullshit. I have been around long enough to understand that marketing is marketing. If you brand something long enough, you're going to go ahead and buy it.
Let's top this conversation with this question to you. or advice for the younger generation? Because you spoke on like your DJ days, productions, like, yeah, man, I drink the freaking Long Island iced tea and stuff like that. I have to. I think when we're younger, we're not really looking out for that kind of quality stuff, and we don't really care.
No, we have limited amount of cash, so we need to get drunk right away.
What would you actually say to them? And I say this because we're having conversations on restaurants and industries, and I don't know if you saw that somewhere. Like the breweries have been shutting down left and right. Like in the last
they've been shutting down, or they've been bought off by the big boys. There's no independent brewery in Wynwood right now.
They can't afford to.
No, they can. They've just been bought out. Let me explain to you how that works. I build a brewery. I build a brand. I get a knock on my door. Constellation Group comes in and he goes, "How you doing, Mr. Reyes?" And I go, "How you doing?" And they said, how much do you want for your shit?" And then I bring my lawyers, and my lawyers say, "Hey, I think that based on sales and this and that, and you can sell this for $2, $3, $4 million." And then the people go, "We're going to give you what you want for the brewery." I'm not going to say no. I'm going to sell my brewery. Why? Because the moment that I sell my brewery, I have $2 million in my bank that I can go ahead and reinvest in another venture. Do you get me?
Yeah.
So I know it's horrible, because for me, like, I was always wired, and I'm glad you asked the question. I'm always wired that whatever project you start, whatever project you have the sleepless nights, and you put your heart and your sweat and blood and tears into, that is your project. But please understand this. And I had a very hard time understanding this. That project has a price. And if somebody wants to buy that project from you, you have to be
open,
smart enough to understand that you built something that has value and you can sell it. And if somebody wants to buy it from you, you have the choice to do two things: either say no or to say yes. And I'm telling you right now that based on statistics, sell the fucking project. Sell it. Because what you're not selling is what's in your head. You have it in here to rebuild and create another project like that and move it forward. Elon showed that. I have a guy that operates down here in South Florida, which I'm not going to mention, who sold his business. They slapped him with a 2-year non-compete. You know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah, you got to hold off.
He went all the way from here to the bottom, and right now he's back up here again. Don't be afraid to sell your project, because at the end of the day, you build that project. You can duplicate it, make it better, make it stronger, make it faster. So don't be stuck about selling your project.
Gems. That's entrepreneurship 101.
Yes, and I think that that's part of something that I didn't understand. You know, when you create something, you're like, "This is mine," and all of a sudden it's like, "Yo, and you're like, "This is mine. You can't have, you can't." Eventually, by the way, nothing lasts forever. Perfect example of that is
this wine.
Yeah, that's true. But perfect example is that and I'm not going to give you one example. Think about every single company that was started by a founder and right now is not owned by that person. Just think about that.
People have different reasons for that, but yeah.
Nothing lasts forever.
Nothing lasts forever.
7-Eleven. Who owns 7-Eleven?
I'm afraid to answer because I feel like you might be baiting me into something.
Who owns 7-Eleven? Production. Who owns 7-Eleven?
Don't answer.
Don't Google. Don't Google shit.
It's a franchise.
It is a franchise. Who owns it?
I can't remember. Isn't that family?
Huh?
A family, right?
It used to.
No, it's a market. It's just like the beer company.
No.
No?
No. It used to be family owned. It used to be a specific family who founded it, but somewhere in the 80s they lost the company and somebody bought it. It's Japanese owned. 7-Eleven is Japanese owned. There's a company in Japan that owns every single 7-Eleven in the United States and abroad. And it was founded here in the United States.
I know what you guys were thinking, who owned it before or who owns it.
No, it was an American company. It started as an ice depot.
It always comes back to race.
But again, it goes back to understanding that nothing stays the same, and there's always change that you can't avoid. And I think this whole entire podcast has been about change, DA.
Yeah.
Our under theme has been about embracing change and moving forward.
Helping out with the title. Bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's jump into this last wine. Let's change the wine. All right, here we go. Then Voulete. This is a red wine blend with a Malbec base.
This is garbage.
Give it a chance.
This is pure garbage.
You don't like Malbec, is what I'm realizing.
No, I do like Malbec. The problem with Malbec is Malbec will get you fucked up.
A good Malbec.
Them Argentinian folks are just out.
Will get you right.
Let me tell you something. I've learned something. There's two things that I learned from my African American brothers and sisters, brothers mostly, and another thing that I learned from Argentinians.
Not the South African?
Like, no. Like, the African Americans in this country, my people that I've hung around with, they know how to barbecue. Whether you're from the South or you're from Kentucky or the smoking, Cubans.
They just know what
Cubans don't know what the fuck a smoker is. Cubans just throw the meat in there, let it burn.
La caja china, that's about it.
No, that's completely different.
That's different.
But having somebody teach you how to eat something that's been smoked or has that nice dry rub in it, okay, that's different. That's amazing. But the Argentinians, they taught me how to fucking cook meat the right way. They don't cook meat on the fire. They cook meat off the fire. And they also introduced me to Malbec. So, obviously, Argentinians are a culture that has a lot of cattle.
Yeah.
Cattle ranches. And obviously, their asados or their meats are amazing.
I have a feeling I know where this is going after the show. Okay, I owe you Argentina Malbec. This one's from California. Raspberry, blackberry flavors, jam, cola, and it's a silky smooth.
It's berries.
It's
plum.
It's a much more.
You can smell a freaking.
Like it's sending us home.
It's super sweet.
It's nice.
It's very sweet. It's very, very sweet. This is the kind of shit you have like after dinner.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because we're at the end of the show.
It's very sweet.
This is where this is going. Unless you want to keep going, we can,
Wow. It's not bad.
I think you see.
It's sweet as hell.
I think you could actually drink this one easily. I think depending on the palate, you could drink the whole bottle.
This is not the typical Malbec that I would have with my slab of meat.
It's not Argentinian.
It's not.
No.
It's not the Malbec that I would have with my flank steak or with my ribeye or with my vacío or with my bife.
This is chocolate cake.
Yeah. This is the stuff that you have after dinner.
Well, the name is French for velvet wine because they pride themselves on being silky and smooth.
It's very
creamy.
sweet.
So it's just like I wouldn't say cleanse, but just
No, it doesn't cleanse. This is sweet as hell. This is the type of stuff that you give your chick at the beginning of the night because she's gonna drink it like water and get her fucked up. This is the one. This is the one.
Take notes for
This is
those
the one.
of you. All right, Mikey. As we've come to our last wine,
You have any more questions for me? Let me think.
my friend, that's not supposed to.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
No.
Garbage.
Screw the rundown, the format of the
This is
show.
bullshit. What the fuck?
Clearly not in radio anymore.
Is there another way to what? Do I? Okay.
Mikey, upcoming projects, things to look out for. 2025 wishes.
Listen, I my wish is to
Show cards are out.
like there's things that everything is changing all the time. Unfortunately, that's life. Right now, things are not exactly how I want these things to be, but it is what it is. We because once you're married and your wife opens up a business, you're part of that business too, by proxy.
Oh yeah.
It's one of those things that, when your wife says,
What do you say to the?
we're opening up a business, and you go,
well,
well, we already have a business. She goes, no, I'm opening up a business for me. And you're like, okay. And then she goes, okay, you need to help me with that. And you're like being pulled into that. That's perfect. That's where I'm at right now.
What do you speak to the damn? I can't believe we're going down this rabbit hole. The relationships or the marriages that do that, because that's not the first time I hear that. You have a business now. She has a business. Sometimes there's separation.
No, there's no separation.
When there is, though, what do you say to that?
I don't think that there's ever. Okay. Let me put you in legal terms. When you have a business, even if your wife is not involved in your business, she owns half of it.
No. Okay.
So what is it that I do? When I register my business, she's my partner. In my business, she's my partner. Legally. Because if something happens to me, I don't want any bullshit of, well, she's a partner. Legally, she's a partner. Even if she's not as a partner, she owns half of that business. But because of the way things are with probate and all that stuff, which I'm not going to get into, you should probably know about this too.
I do.
My wife is my business partner. So when you look at my company, she's listed as a managing director. So if something happens to me, she owns everything. Half of it she doesn't know how to do, but she's the owner. And my wife opened up her business with her partner.
Imagine how many corporations are structured that way.
Exactly. So my wife's business, I'm not part of the ownership team because it's with an investor and her.
Okay.
But I own half of her shit.
Right.
Which means that she's gonna say, you need to help me with this. And you're like, but that's not my problem. That's not my business.
But you do it.
That's not my thing. And she's like, I need a website. And you're like, how much you gonna pay me for that? She's like, I'm not gonna pay you shit. You're gonna build me the website.
You know, that's what I do.
she's like, wait. I'm actually half owner of your marketing company, so I'm going to make the executive decision that you're going to provide this company with a free website. And you're like, what the fuck? But you know how it works.
She went over your head.
Yeah. It is what it is. So now I got to build her a free website. And work on the marketing team and make sure that all of the print stuff is done correctly and that her logo, I had to make her free logo. You know, it's working for free, my brother.
She's going to be my next guest. How to come up.
When your wife opens up a fucking business, it means that you work for free. Do you understand that? You work for free. Not only do you work for free, but you have the worst client ever because she's going to be overcritical of all this shit that you ever do.
You're an investor.
You're not going to get paid.
You're going to work.
You work for free, and they're going to be overcritical over everything that you do. How come this doesn't look as nice as what you built for so-and-so? You're like, that's the way it is. No, you need to make it better, buddy. What do you mean better? It looks good. Well, you need to change that. I don't like that. That's what you deal with.
Oh my God! They can't put the finger on what's missing.
No, bro, that's your wife, bro. It is what it is. You gotta like put your head down and take the hits.
Oh my God!
I got clients who are less of a pain in the ass than she is. But you're the partner. You own half of her stuff. At the end of the day, you own half of her stuff. So you want her to do well. So you go, yes, okay. Okay, babe. You got it.
Mikey Reyes, everybody. Mike, where can they follow you?
They can follow me at Mikey, M-I-K-E-Y, machete, like a machete, at Instagram. And I have links on my bios for my businesses, so you can click on that. And most of my content there is in Spanish. My brain works more in English, but because of the people that I'm associated with and the podcast that I do with, it's mostly in Spanish, so that's why it's there. But you can click on my links and find me and my company, Related Media Group. My printing company, it's Marca, M-A-R-C-A printing, which Marca means mark in Spanish. And we are getting ready to do, we just registered MiamiShirtCo.com.
Nice.
And we just secured WinwoodShirts.com.
For a good price?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so those are two things that we have on the back burner to work with.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, brother. Excited to see what
Anything
you got
else?
cooking in 2025. Or there's more wine if you want.
No, I'm good. I got to drive home now.
In that case, cheers. That's it. We out.
Thank you for watching Coffee and Cabernet.
With Danny Doe.
Make sure you're subscribed and follow us at Coffee and Cabernet Podcast.